This is Lound Wood, and this is the just inside the entrance to Lound Wood, where I often run the trap if it's a little bit breezy. If not here, then it's just a few yards away on the outskirts of Lound Wood. But it's a beautiful day today. We had fog overnight. That fog lifted into low cloud. That low cloud started to break up and has been burnt off by the sunshine. The sky is still a bit of a milky white, but it's beautiful nonetheless, and the temperature is slowly starting to increase. And despite it being such a nice day, I'm actually here for a moth. I have my trusty friend Annette, and Annette is going to help me. She's the first time she's had an airing in daylight today, is Annette, but I need another little helper in my quest today. And this is it. This is a pheromone lure. This is the SUS pheromone lure, SUS. And it's a great little lure, especially for the species of moth which I'm after today. And that's Pammene giganteana, a species which are recorded for the first time in the equine area a couple of years ago. Last year I didn't do a thing with pheromones, not that I can remember. And so it's about time we had to go and have a look for some of those species which are hard to find with a net and a bright light. How many of you non-moth trappers have ever wondered how a female moth manages to attract a male in complete darkness? Well, the simple answer is that they use pheromones. Many insects use pheromones, including glowworms. It's not all glowing that attracts the males to a female glowworm. There is still an element of pheromone use. But moths use pheromones. When the female moth has emerged from the chrysalis, found somewhere safe to dry and expand the wings, she will then sit there for at least for the first part of the night and emit pheromones. Those pheromones are immensely strong and can attract males from many hundreds of yards, maybe even a mile or so away. But we have some clever people in the entomology world, and they've been able to develop pheromones that replicate those of a female moth, and that's what I have here. There are many of these now, often specifically designed to attract the males of a specific species. This one attracts several species, or can do, but the one we're after today with this little chap here is Pammene giganteana. Now they're usually very quick to work, providing the moths are out and about. And all you need, well, the first thing you need is try not to touch that ideally, and then find somewhere safe to hang this from the tree, usually where this bit will touch the trunk. Now we wait. Well, just to the right of the lure, the first Pammene giganteana is in, and this is typically what they do. They will come, land on the tree trunk, and then gradually work their way to the lure. In fact, there is two here now. I've only just put the lure on, and right at the side of that lure is one Pammene giganteana. There's a third one just coming in too. So there you can see the three, and there is another one also coming in. There are now 4 moths in, one directly on the lure and 3 above it at the moment. And these all have come in within a couple of minutes of the lure being put on the tree, and there's another one coming in just high up. It's settling on the trunk. These always settle on the trunk and say work their way towards that lure. May well have another one there in shot just coming down to the lure, and another one flying in. So there's 2 on the lure, there's 2 more directly above it, and then 1 further up from that. So within a couple of minutes we have 5 Pammene giganteana to the lure. And in Dillis's and my experience over the years, we only ever trapped this once at light, and that was in Sherwood Forest, and may well have been the very first for Sherwood Forest at the time. And it's always been thought to be uncommon, if not rare, in Nottinghamshire and presumably other counties, but because of the production and use of this lure, it's actually turning up almost wherever you put the lure out. If you get anywhere near or in a oak woodland, chances are you will attract this moth within minutes. I won't leave this lure out frustrating these male moths for too long. I don't see the point in that, and it doesn't do the moths any good trying to have sex with a rubber ball. Then we've got 2 just in the corner there, around the... They're not a spectacular moth. But say at one time it was their rarity value, and it's just purely through the development and use of this lure that we've realised that this moth is commoner than we ever thought. Well, there's more males continuing to come in on at the bottom of the screen there. They don't settle for long, and they soon realise that it's not a female that they've come to meet. They'll stay around individually for a few minutes and then they'll go off. And I don't use these lures a lot. I'll give it another minute or so just to get some idea of numbers, and then it will be put away and either taken to another site, or that's it for another year. But it's a great way of recording Pammene giganteana and the pheromone lures in general. You can record species that you wouldn't perhaps do otherwise. They're a great sort of weapon in the armoury of the entomologist. So there's 2 Pammene giganteana, which in all the 20 odd years that I've trapped here at Lownwood, never once have recorded at light. Just do a wider angle shot. You can spot the freshly arrived male because it's more excitable. It's the one that's on the bung. There's another one that's just coming in actually. They remain in this state for a while. In fact, there's another one coming in. You may well have seen it. There it is, just landed. And that when new males to a lure, I found, are always excitable. They're vibrating and fluttering the wings like the one that's just going down to the lure and the one that's just coming up to the lure. They soon work out that it's not a female, or the female of their dreams, if Pammene giganteana has dreams. But there's 2 on the lure, and there's a male just to the right of the lure, which you may have seen just move a little bit, that has settled down. They become less excited. At the moment on this trunk here, there are some 5 or 6 individuals. It's a great way, the use of pheromone lures, to see a moth that you've never recorded before. There's moths coming in all the time. There's 4 close to the lure there. Moths flying in. A continuous succession. So what I'll do, I'll just take a few photos for the thumbnail to this video, and that's it in terms of the use of this lure, at least for here. Time to put the lure away. I may go and use it somewhere else on the way home, but I just wanted to come out here today and have a look. There's another one thinks about coming in. The beauty of these pheromone lures is that the container that you keep them in, or at least I keep them in, also attracts moths too. Double the effect almost. They are very strong things, and they're only to be used sparingly, just 5-10 minutes at any one site, just to see if that moth or that species is on that site. Don't put them out for hours on end. There's usually no need for it, and the longer that you do leave it out, the more likely you are to dragging them off from miles away. But they're brilliant things to use to record species that you wouldn't otherwise have a clue were even there.